ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
Elmore deep, left side three, it's good! From 30 feet, John Elmore!
The Drive with Paul Swann.
Welcome into the Monday edition, coming to you live from the Union Pub and Grill in Huntington. It's the home of the Southern Belle, and of course also every Monday, all day and all night, $2 call shots, $1.50 just for domestic bottles. And you can get that every Monday right here at the Union Pub and Grill. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you for the next hour. We've got a lot to get into. The Thundering Herd basketball team doing its business yesterday, taking care of North Texas. We'll get into that also coming up here a little bit later on. We're going to hear from the athletic director of Marshall University, Mike Hamrick, because
something.
Oh, yeah, he did pull off something. Today it was announced that Marshall has signed a deal to play football. They're going to play Notre Dame. They're going to South Bend, Indiana. They're going to play one of the most storied football programs in the country on one of the most historic football fields in the nation.
Touchdown, Jesus, they'll see. You get to come out of that tunnel. Seniors and juniors now, but if you're a freshman coming in, 2022, wow, what a game you're going to go. Second week, South Bend. On a network you can find, NBC. So they're going to be nationally on the air. Let it hang out that day. And everybody will see.
See, that's what you're zeroing in on, not the game, the network itself.
No tiers of networks to find. I mean, hey, everybody can watch. Because there's something about Notre Dame, whether they're good, bad, or different, they're watching them. And you think about, plane crash 1970, a little over 50 years later, Marshall signs to play Notre Dame. Really? Congratulations.
By the way, I've got some bad news for you.
Uh-oh. We're not going.
No. You're going to be at Roosters in 2022. You're going to be you're going to be in Roosters doing the show. I'm going to be in South Bend.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm getting there, but I'm going.
Hey, Marshall played in Pocatello. Woody took a 47-hour bus ride, so
I'm going. I am going. I am not passing up the opportunity to go see a Herd game.
Page, whatever, but dude, go.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate in 1999. Coach Lingle was AD at Navy. Awful week. He got tickets for us when they played Navy at Notre Dame. Was there, touchdown Jesus and everything. It's unlike any other place you go into. You see it on TV, you read about it and stuff, but then you're standing there going like, of all the people have come through there, and you're going, and you're there, and you're watching them. And now Marshall, 2022, they're going to be on that same turf.
It's a touchstone football program.
Yeah,
it's full of tradition. It's full of history. It's full of people we still talk about to this day.
Yeah.
I mean, legends are made, songs are sung, movies are made.
Right. I mean, they're already going like our movie was better than yours, Rudy and William Marshall. So, I mean, 3 years to build up for this one, buddy. But no, I can't wait to hear what you and Mike talk about because he's really got one there. He hit a baseball field last week. Now he gets a nice deal to play Notre Dame in football. This is a group of five and a Power Five saying, come on down, we'll play you.
Yeah.
They don't do that very often.
No, Notre Dame just doesn't let anybody come play football.
So
I mean, it's
other
a
than
great
Navy they play, but that's been going on forever. But
it's a great
Marshall,
deal.
That's unbelievable.
It's a great
Hats
deal.
Off.
And you know what? We need to talk about basketball as well because Mr. Hamrick's going to join me here in a few minutes, and I'll talk to him about the football deal. But basketball was great. The Thundering Herd goes on the road. They win at two places they didn't win previously in the conference tour. John Elmore's the conference player of the week. So he is also the all-time leading scorer in Conference USA now.
That's amazing. And I'm one of your friends, we all were talking a while ago, I think you're doing the math to what he can do at Marshall for all time. You're doing if he can do this and they can go a little here or there. But think of all the people who play basketball in Conference USA. The number one point producer right down the street.
Number one assist guy, too. Don't forget that.
Yeah. So what a job he's done. And he's just as – he gets emotional every now and then, but for the most part, when you deal with him and everything, he's so level-headed, appreciative, and his time is your time. He knows not his vocabulary that I know of.
He needs to score 103 points to tie Skip Henderson if the math is correct. And if he scores 104, he'll be all by himself as the all-time leading scorer at Marshall University.
Well, they've got at least 3 games.
Got 3 games.
2 here and then down to Texas. And it's one and keep going there. So, who knows? He might get to play 3, 4, 5, 6 more games. If they play like they did the last 2, they're going to be a tough out.
Yeah, they play like that the next couple, and then they go to the conference tournament. Maybe a 6 seed. It looks pretty good right now.
Yeah.
They've still got to finish their business at home. But if they can do that, they'll be a 6 seed, and then they can maybe surprise some people. Maybe this is the Marshall team we were all waiting for. It's finally here. And with John Elmore having a great game once again. C.J. Burks had a great game and that win over North Texas. Tavion Kinsey, I thought, was pretty good. Yeah, they shot well. In those last two games, they have shot well from the three-point line. Now, in the first half, they didn't shoot as well as they would have liked to, and then listening to John Elmore's descriptive way to
what Danny said,
to verbalize that without costing anyone an FCC license, I thought it was very eloquent on his part. Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful the way he broke it down. And Marshall gets the victory, so we've got basketball to get into. We've got football as well. So we got a lot to talk about today. We'll break this basketball game down a little bit later on, of course, though. We'll get into John's Player of the Week award. It's I don't think he can get Player of the Year in Conference USA only because where Marshall at standing-wise, it's probably going to go to one of the Pod 1 teams. But you know what? I don't think he cared last year that he wasn't Conference Player of the Year. I think he cared that he won the conference tournament. Yeah. So that's probably going to be his attitude as well.
Like yesterday on the postgame on the TV, he goes, your thoughts? He says, well, I have a great family. I have great teammates to help me. The main thing is make plays and win games. But the record's nice to have, but it's only a product of what everything falling together. It wouldn't happen without all the pieces coming together. Great way to sum up how he got to that position.
Okay, when I come back from break, I'm going to have Mr. Hamrick with me. Mike Hamrick, Marshall University Athletic Director. He's going to join us on the program here, and we're going to talk to him about the game itself. Marshall is taking on Notre Dame, and that's coming up. And it's not one of those we got to wait 10 years to go see. No, this is going to happen in my lifetime.
Yes.
And Dave, your lifetime as well.
Hopefully. Yeah, 2022.
I think you can make it to 2022.
We know that the other schools signed to play Alabama, but it's like 10, 11 years down the road. I mean, I don't think Nick will still be there, but right now, 3 years out, you got to think their coach should be there, Doc still be here, and the excitement will build. It will build.
I think so.
They take them one at a time, they say, but believe me, countdown's on already.
Now, it's countdown on for us. Doc's not even looking at this, so he's telling us shut up right now.
He's already worried about his short week when they had to play Boise on Friday. He had Thursdays to become Wednesday and Wednesdays Tuesday. So
Don't stop. You're going to hurt people's
head.
Go. All right, when we come back from break, Mike Hamrick, Marshall University Athletic Director, will join me on the program here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Still to come on the program, we'll hear from Marshall University Athletic Director Mike Hamrick on today's announcement that Marshall will play in South Bend, Indiana. They're going to play Notre Dame, so we will talk to him here in a few moments, and we'll also get you caught up on everything that's happening in Conference USA. These standings are still just a blur. The only thing that's guaranteed, Dave, is that Old Dominion is your conference champion, and other than that, we're still trying to just figure out the seeding for the bracket, the tournament. We've got 1 week to go, some spots still to fill as far as all that's concerned. But we'll get into that here in a few moments. First of all, we want to welcome to the program now the athletic director of Marshall University, Mike Hamrick, who having a great day today. John Elmore's Player of the Week in Conference USA, which is a testament to basketball. And, of course, the big news today, Mr. Hamrick, that you're going to be playing in South Bend, Indiana, a historic location. And, not everybody gets to go to South Bend, Indiana to play football.
No, Paul, they sure don't. And we're looking forward to it. We're excited about it. It's something in the makings for a long time. I sure know our young players who have kind of added up the years around the building here today are all excited about it. I've even had some sophomores and juniors ask me if they could hold out a year or two so they could go play at Notre Dame. But it's something that I think will benefit our program and our university in many, many ways.
How does a game with Notre Dame differ from any other game you try to schedule? You just don't get on the phone and say, hey, would you like to play? Or does it work that easy?
No, you know what, Paul, it really doesn't. Scheduling is probably the most difficult thing that you have to do as an athletic director, especially football scheduling. I mean, a lot of people don't want to play Marshall. They don't want to play Marshall from the standpoint they don't want to get beat. But there's a lot of things that go into scheduling. Probably the most significant is relationships. Does someone here at Marshall have a relationship with someone at Notre Dame? And are the dates the right dates? Do they work out the right time, distance? What is one school getting out of it as compared to what another school's getting out of it? So there's a lot of factors that go into it, and to be quite honest, this is something I've been trying to do ever since I came to Marshall. About 10 years ago, I wanted to take the Thundering Herd into Notre Dame, because I think that's probably as good a place as anywhere to play in the country, and I thought maybe our fans would get a kick out of it. I thought our players would, and so it just seemed like the right thing to do. The right date came up. I've had a couple conversations, good conversations with their athletic director and some of their associates, and my associate AD, David Steele, works hard with me in scheduling and does a great job. So it all just came together.
And the date especially works well for Thundering Herd fans. Marshall fans are excited because they're not sitting around waiting. In 2022, they're going to get to go to South Bend, Indiana, to watch the Herd play Notre Dame. We're not talking about a game that's 10 years off or 7 years off. I mean, this is really right around the corner as far as scheduling is concerned.
Well, it is, and that was what was attractive to us also. We actually needed a road game in 2022. We had the same date open, and it just worked out. But, Paul, there's a lot of things that you look at into scheduling, and the parameters that I use and look at is, in this situation, the distance. Can your fans get there? Well, sure, our fans can get there. They can drive there. So that was a factor that went into the scheduling. TV. Notre Dame has a exclusive TV contract with NBC that runs through the 2025 season. So the odds are you're going to play them in the afternoon or at night on NBC. Great exposure for our program, great exposure for our university. Finances. This game carries a significant financial impact for us, and that's important. Recruiting. I mean, come on, you walk in a kid's home now and say, hey, you come to Marshall, by the time you're a junior or senior, you get to go play in Notre Dame, at Notre Dame. And then the thing that stood out to me in some of the conversations I had was we know it here at Marshall, and we have a story. We have a story that no one has. And what I found out is, people at Notre Dame knew our story. People around the country know our story. We know it, but sometimes we wonder if someone else does, and they do. And one of the comments I got from a Notre Dame administrator was, hey, great, we got the movie Rudy. You got the movie We Are Marshall. I mean, what a play up to a football game in like you said, basically about 3 years down the road.
Marshall University Athletic Director Mike Hamrick joining us on the program. You're listening to The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. And that was something that you talked about when the release went out, the fact that Notre Dame just doesn't play anybody. You can't just call up and say, hey, we would like a game. They like to maintain, a pretty good list as far as schools that they're willing to play or that are attractive to them. I mean, this isn't to disparage anyone else, but Marshall's in pretty elite company if Notre Dame is willing and wanting to play the Thundering Herd.
Well, there's no question, Paul, we are. You're absolutely right. They can play anybody they want. And, again, the things that I talked about as to why we were going there. I mean, hey, we're going to play under the Golden Dome. We're going to play, in front of Touchdown Jesus. I mean, we're going to play in a 78,000-seat stadium. We're going to play an opponent that's won 11 national championship and has had more individual Heisman Trophy winners, I think 7 than anyone else. And we all know the tradition and the history at Notre Dame, but we, Marshall, are in that elite company. And if you look at Notre Dame's schedules over the years, I mean, they play an ACC schedule, which they have to, and then, you see Stanford, you see Navy, you see USC, you see Michigan, you see Purdue, you see Ohio State, Clemson. You see all those teams on their schedule, but, hey, Marshall, we pop out. So, we got to feel good about that.
Marshall University Athletic Director Mike Hamrick is our guest here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. So I know the fan reaction has been pretty excited so far, but, just on a personal standpoint, I know the players have been excited about this. What's been the feedback from maybe the alumni, the staff itself, everyone who's involved with this. This is really a great day for Marshall football.
I think it is, Paul, and I think if you're negative about this, then you're probably negative about Santa Claus coming down your chimney or the Easter Bunny, or you're negative about everything. I mean, for Marshall University to have a chance to go play Notre Dame in football is a big deal, and it says a lot about this great university, our history, our tradition, and everywhere, everything we do here. And the reaction that we have gotten today has been unbelievable. The many questions. How do I get in line to get tickets for this? Well, tickets are very limited for this game, and if you want to get tickets for this game, you better be a Big Green member, and you better buy season tickets here. And we're trying to get as many as we can, but I think it's going to be a tough ticket for Marshall fans to get. But we were able to get enough to take care of our Big Green members, some of them, and our season ticket holders. But I would tell people that if you want to go to this game, and to me, Paul, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. To be honest with you, I've never been to Notre Dame before. Never have. And this is checking off a bucket list item for me. And I'm kind of excited to go there and be a part of that atmosphere and walk across that campus and see the history and tradition that they have in college football. So the reaction, back to your question, Paul, the reaction has been absolutely phenomenal that we've received all through our department today, not only from our administrators and our players and our coaches, but our fans have really reacted very strongly to this in a very positive manner.
Yeah, this was a wow moment for me as well when I saw the news, and for everyone surrounding me, this just a flat wow, because you're right. This is where you want to go if you're a college football fan. I mean, this is a bucket list event. I'm excited for it as well. And you look at their schedule in 2022 at Ohio State. They're taking on the Herd. They've got Stanford at home. They've got Clemson at home. Boston College, they haven't announced the date yet, but it's on the future schedule as well. So, but you're in great company there. I mean, Marshall, Stanford, Clemson, Boston College, just some of the games that are on the schedule that year. You're right. They could play anybody. They chose to play Marshall.
They did, and I would like to be scheduled right in the middle of Ohio State and Clemson. So, I know they play Ohio State in Columbus the week before we go to South Bend to play them. And sure, they could have played a lot of people, and they chose to play Marshall. My hat's off to them for giving us this opportunity. They didn't have to. There's people lined up wanting to play them, but again, I honestly, somebody asked me today, what do you think was really the key to this happening? And I think it's our history at Marshall, our story, our We Are Marshall story. I really believe that the administration and the people at Notre Dame are well aware of that, Paul, and they wanted to have us come to their house and play football in their stadium. So that's got to make you feel pretty good if you're a Marshall fan.
Marshall University Athletic Director Mike Hamrick is our guest. Paul Swann, your host here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930. Now, you mentioned you've got tickets. You're going to be able to take care of Big Green members, season ticket holders, and that leads me into my next question as far as the Herd rises. That's the initiative right now to advance the athletic department further. Baseball's tied into that as well, but if I'm a football fan and I want to go see this game, boy, this would be the right time to jump on board with the Herd and be a part of that Herd Rises campaign.
Well, there's no question, and that will play into everything that we do. Tickets that we have for all our games. I mean, we've got. You look at our schedules, who we've played, Paul, and who we're playing down the road. I mean, we've got Boise State coming in here. We've got Pittsburgh coming here. Obviously, everyone's aware of the home and home that we signed with Virginia Tech. We've got Navy coming here. We've got East Carolina coming here. We got the Ohio Bobcats coming here. So we've got some really good football games down the road, and we're hoping here in the next 2 or 3 months down the road to add some really other good ones that are pretty much on par with what we've scheduled. So one thing you can't complain about is our schedule, who we play. We play a very difficult, fan-friendly non-conference schedule, and that's what we want to do for our great fans.
Yeah, no, you can't complain. You look at 2020, East Carolina, Pitt here, Ohio there, Boise State here. 2021, Navy's on the schedule, Appalachian State, they come back to Huntington as well. East Carolina is always a fan favorite, and Virginia Tech's down the road as well. I mean, you can't complain if you are a fan of good football. I mean, you're getting quality opponents coming to Huntington, and you're making some really attractive road trips as well. So I don't see where there's any negative here on the scheduling. I mean, you're right. You just don't like Christmas if you don't like the schedule in the next few years.
No, people who don't like this don't like anything. That's kind of the way I looked at it. But I went back to something you said. I mean, when you try to schedule games as an athletic director, you want your fans to really buy into that game and really feel good about it. And your reaction was, wow. You know, that's what people's reactions are when they walk in our indoor facility, or when they walk in our academic center or our sports medicine institute or our soccer facility. That's what they're going to say when they see our new baseball stadium. I want them to say, wow. And I believe if you didn't say, wow, when we announced that we're playing Notre Dame, then you're not ever going to say, wow. And it's funny, I was in a meeting with our president this morning, in our senior vice president meeting, and I brought it up and announced it to them that it was going to be announced today that we're playing Notre Dame. And I think there's 8 or 9 vice presidents in there, and probably half of them raised their head up like out of their deep sleep when I'm giving my athletic report, and they all went, wow, how about this? And so that's kind of what you want, Paul, when you announce games.
Marshall University Athletic Director Mike Hamrick joining us on the program. I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be a fun road trip for everyone. It's going to be a fun road trip for you because you'll get to take Bill Cornwell with you as well to Notre Dame, to South Bend, Indiana. And I know you're looking forward to road tripping with him.
Well, we wrote it into the contract. I'm sorry that I wrote it into the contract that Bill Cornwell will not be allowed to attend this game. So wherever he's at, I know he's listening. He's just going to stay home, and I'm going to give him the keys to my skybox, and he can watch the game on NBC up there all by himself. So that's what we're doing with him. But hey, I mean, in all seriousness, I'm sure the reaction at your radio station was the same as yours. Wow, this is awesome, and this just adds a lot of things to your program. And I go back to the national exposure, Paul. I mean, how many times does our football team get a chance to play prime time on NBC? Not very many. Not very many. And so it helps us in so many ways, and it helps our university and our community in so many ways.
Yeah, this is a great day. You're right. Wow was the reaction. It was not just my reaction. Several people asked me, "Are you joking?" I mean, that was the follow-up reaction, Mike. It was, "Are you serious? Are you joking?" No, this is legit. Marshall's playing Notre Dame, and then you got that wow reaction again. So you got what you were looking for reaction-wise. It's really an amazing get.
Well, it's kind of like when I told my wife is Catholic, and her favorite team obviously is Marshall, and has been her whole life, but her second favorite team, being a good Catholic girl, is Notre Dame. And when I told her that we had signed the contract, got it back last week, her reaction was the same as many around your stadium. Yeah, right. I've heard this many a times. She didn't believe me, and so it took her today to see the release that, hey, actually we get in the car and go be a part of our program, Marshall, and walk into South Bend and enjoy the atmosphere, the tradition, the history. I've had people tell me it's like no other place you've ever been for a college football game. I mean, there's a lot of places we could go, Paul, but when we do one-time games, I've kind of prioritized them, and Notre Dame has been on the top of all these years, and we finally made it happen, and we're excited about it.
Well, congratulations. It's been a fun day talking herd football with everyone, and this is going to be a fun one to get ready for. But, of course, we've got basketball to get ready for these next few weeks. You've got a fundraising campaign to take care of and everything else. So a lot of good things happening for the Thundering Herd. So congratulations again. This is great news today for everyone.
Well, it is, Paul, and it's been the highlight of my day to be able to get on this radio show and visit with you. I want you to know that.
I appreciate that. The ratings will help as well. We appreciate you boosting the ratings and everything. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a pretty special when you're on the show. I know it's a big special deal. It's like you're like my Notre Dame. It's like, wow, Mike Hamrick is here.
Well, now wait a minute, Paul. Let's not go that far. I'm like your Notre Dame, but I always enjoy visiting with you. You know that. I
do, and I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Enjoy the rest of the day, and hopefully we'll have another wow moment to talk about soon.
Well, we might. You take care, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Mike Hamrick, our guest here on the program, Thundering Herd, announcing they're going to be playing Notre Dame in 2022. And I know you're going to be excited to go up as well, Dave. Well, no, you can't go because I'm going. You got to go.
I got to hold your rooster spot.
Yeah, you got to hold the chicken shack down doing the pregame. Well, I'll make it up to you.
I tell you what, Paulie, I have been there once. I would love for you to be able to go, and then we can reminisce what it's like. Now, I was not in the press box area, but I was in everything else. And like Mike said, it is unlike. We've been to the Horseshoe. We've gone to Tennessee. We've gone to Tech. But Touchdown Jesus, you don't see as much of him now since they made the stadium a little taller, but you still see him. And the people that come down that tunnel, hitting that little sign, that and the players and the history, it's going to be quite the experience. And I think, wow, is the only way to go. I mean, you think 50 years ago we lost everything. Now we're going to Notre Dame.
We'll continue from the Union Pub and Grill with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Buckle up. Paul Swann has the wheel on The Drive. ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We are here today at the Union Pub and Grill where every day that it's Monday.
Yeah.
Not Tuesday. They have different things on Tuesday.
Yes.
But every day that it's Monday, you can come down here and get $2 call shots. You can get a $1.50 domestic bottle. And it's all day and all night, every Monday. Great service. I mean, I walk in, it's already there.
I know.
To go.
I saw you were heading this way with it.
I was about ready to change up, though. I'm thinking maybe a Southern Belle. You want one of those, you can get that right here at the Union Pub and Grill.
You name it, they'll make it.
Oh, yeah. Have you had the Southern Belle?
No.
We should do that next week.
Okay.
We'll do a couple of Southern Bells.
Oh, there we go.
I'll make sure there's no guests scheduled, just to be safe.
Yeah.
Get a little kick of
I
energy
imagine,
drink. A little Red Bull in that. It's all good.
Mike works very hard to make that happen, but until the ink dries, and you're sitting there holding it going like, we're playing Notre Dame. We are playing Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real. It's real.
That's what I appreciate
Even
about
Herb
this.
will probably have excitement as he's getting ready to walk through the door.
Oh, that's cool.
The boss.
The proprietor is coming in. But you know what is really cool about this is it's 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, here in a few years, we can go down to or over and up, depending on where you're at. We can go to South Bend, Indiana. We can experience Notre Dame football. Marshall's the opponent, part of that long, storied tradition. I mean, you want to talk about what storied traditional football looks like. Here it is.
Oh.
I mean, right here. Here's the iconic football program. I mean, there's not many of those.
No.
I mean, can you name 5 of them?
No. You think of all the people that come through that tunnel, home and away, visitors and home team, and then September 10th of 2022, Marshall adds its name to the people that have come through the tunnel. Nothing like it. There'll be nothing like it.
And you know what? You tell a recruit, hey, you're going to play Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. You can tell a kid, look, you're going to come to Huntington. You're going to play in a competitive conference.
Right.
And you're going to play quality non-conference opponents.
Yes.
So you're going to get to be seen. You're going to go to Notre Dame. You're going to play Virginia Tech. You're going to play some of these really outstanding programs, and more are coming.
Yes.
And if you're on the Notre Dame schedule, then someone else can look at it and go, hey, maybe we could throw the Herd in there as well. I mean, I know it's difficult to schedule a team. Mike Hamrick was correct, and a lot of teams don't want to play the Herd because there's always that potential that Marshall will knock them off.
Yeah.
There's that potential there.
You've got that Power 5, Group of 5 syndrome. Certain people do that, but, Marshall has nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, we've mentioned 50 years to now, and the way they're going right now on the schedule, they're up next. You better be ready.
Yeah.
You better be ready, and I guarantee you September 10th, they'll take it seriously.
And if you're going to play a one-off game, it better be a big deal game, right?
I'm sure the coach, whoever it is at that time, if he's still there, he's going to make sure that, the old coach speak, we're not looking past him. I'm sure that'll be heard of, and they won't. They won't.
No. But
that's one of the most successful teams in Conference USA. when you go look at the records overall the last few years. Gotten the one hiccup 2 years ago. I mean,
what's that signature program other than Notre Dame? There's a couple. I mean, if you're going to look at a team that, it's.
If you go by stadiums, the Horseshoe.
Okay. If you're going to go by stadiums, Big House. If you're going to go by stadium,
Coliseum, but
I'm just on that program.
But in general, I don't think it's any bigger than them. The Leprechaun.
I mean,
it doesn't get any bigger than that.
And Notre Dame football is relevant.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing. It's a storied tradition, but it's relevant.
This team was in the Final Four last year.
Right. This is a team that is a contender again for national championships.
Yeah,
it's a relevant program.
Not being in a conference, they do a certain amount. They get to dodge a conference game. There were some people last year wondering about it, but hey, they were in the Final Four. Didn't go like they wanted, but hey, they were there. And guess what, Marshall? We'll be playing a team that has been to the Final Four. Has got, as Mike said, 11 banners. We have Conference USA. We've won some bowl games. They've got 11 that goes of all the teams. We were the best. A feather in their cap.
Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you. We are coming to you live from the Union Pub and Grill, downtown Huntington, where every Monday it's $2 call shots and $1.50 domestic bottles, and, of course, always the home of the Southern Belle. We're getting close to the end of the show. Maybe a couple of Southern Bells.
Could be.
Maybe.
We'll
see how we feel.
Wait till next week.
We could do that. I just, the Red
Bull.
Bull.
You could really be
prepared.
Well,
ready to go.
Have a good weekend. There'll be the send-off to Frisco, and you're still basking in the ink drying on the Notre Dame contract. Maybe Tony Kemper gets the senior night win and goes from 3 wins a year ago to 10. It'd be a great hoist to it. Let's hoist them.
You're planning the week already.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that when we continue with today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We're coming to you from the Union Pub and Grill, where we always are on Mondays. Paul Swann and Dave Walsh with you. One more reminder, if you come down now and you stay until the closing, you can get, until closing,
all right,
$1.50 domestic bottle. You can get a $2 call shot as well, and it's all right here at the Union Pub and Grill.
Best service to take care of those customers, too, is like you said today. You walk in, it's already here.
I mean, I've got an advantage.
I know.
She knows my order, but hey, if you hang out here enough, they'll know your order too.
That's right. You get to the door and it's already being tapped.
So, just for those who maybe haven't been following the news all day, and that would be the proprietor of this establishment, Marshall is going to be playing Notre Dame in South Bend in 2022, a short few years away from now. So if you are a freshman on the squad for the Thundering Herd, you're a recruit, you got something to look forward to here. One of those games that you can just say, hey, I played at Notre Dame.
Right.
I mean, not everyone gets that opportunity.
No. And if you're a sophomore on the team now, junior or senior, they can't hold you back.
That's okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. They've got opportunities
the people coming
ahead.
down the road, that's one of the feathers in their cap. You're going to play Notre Dame. You mentioned other games are going to be on the schedule, and the way Mike was talking, there's more to come. Don't know if it have the impact that playing at Notre Dame is, but he's probably working on it because there's a few open slots out there.
Well, you got Boise State this season
and they've
on the road.
moved it to Friday. We'll be on Friday.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
But that's primetime TV.
Well, we haven't heard what TV provider you can find.
Hopefully, it'll be CBS Sports Network or somebody.
I'm hoping an ESPN game. Maybe.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic. But in 2020, you're going to go to East Carolina. You're going to go to Ohio. Those are good road trips as well. And 2021 at Navy. I mean, at Navy.
That's a very historic trip.
Yeah.
Very historic trip.
I mean, Navy might not have the winning tradition that Notre Dame does. Not many programs do. No. But, I mean, it's still Navy. It's like
and they play Notre Dame every year.
It's like when Marshall played at Army.
Right.
I mean, that was a big deal. Not because of the football power of Army. It's just, hey, you're playing at this storied, traditional football field. I mean, they play football the way it used to be played.
Right.
And it's just so much pageantry, so much history. You don't have to, go far to find like the echoes of football's past because it surrounds you, especially when you go to South Bend.
And one of the all-time highlights with Army is every time you look at Randy Moss highlight areas from the Army game, hurdling the defender. So a lot of tradition there.
Yeah. You look at 2022. Right now, you got Notre Dame on the schedule
and Appy
State. I mean, that's good. I like that already. Because
we know Appy well from the Southern Conference days.
Appalachian State is an opponent that I would like to see more on the schedule. Now, I know you can't play them every year, but I would love to see him on the schedule more. That's a great traditional rival for maybe an older fan base, and hopefully the younger Marshall fan base will get into it and understand the reason why some of the older fans don't like them. The Dave Walshes of the world.
For quite a few years, the Boone people made their trip here, and then whenever they went to Boone, there was a lot of green and white in the house and a couple of great places to go eat food, and quite a setting. And they've been, their stadium was like here. And now it's, I think, 35. They've enlarged it, and they're one of the best teams in their league.
If there was a program from the Southern Conference that's not named Marshall, it could have jumped and made the
which
move.
They did a little bit later, but they have.
Yeah.
Just like Georgia Southern.
They were a great program to do that. I mean, Georgia Southern's a great program as well.
And they're coming on not too far off.
I just wish Marshall was playing some of the Southern Conference teams a little bit more. But you got to play those games that make sense as well. I mean, that's just nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
I mean, because, I like Chattanooga. I want to see them in basketball. I like playing
the old
Appalachian.
roundhouse.
Yeah, I want to play Appalachian State because it makes sense. I mean, there's going to be some Herd fans who remember that series, remember those times. I mean, I appreciate that. That's on the schedule. So, I mean, you got to have some games that the Herd fans can get excited for. You got to have some games that make sense for us travel. You've got to make sure you're playing opportunities that benefit you and the opponent.
Right.
And you try to get those home and homes. And sometimes you take a one-off because, well, it's Notre Dame.
Yes.
Yeah. Notre Dame says, hey, we'll play a game up here. You take that deal. That makes perfect sense.
Mike mentioned there's still open dates in 21 and 2022. Mm-hmm. After today, when you sign to play Notre Dame, you almost got to believe anything is possible now to fill in those other slots. Because, we might play an FCS team, whatever, like VMI's coming in next year, but at the same time, they're going to line up a heavyweight. The old saying was, you play these money games, at some point in time, you got to start winning them. And they're getting close. They're getting close.
Well, you keep playing them until you win.
I mean, right now, Boise State, outside of UCF, first claim to the Access Bowl winner is in the hunt. Loser, it's going to be tough. Access Bowl.
You take that game, though.
Yeah.
You always take that game.
Blue Turf, it's national TV on Friday, and next year they come here. And like you mentioned, as time goes on, there'll be a lot of comparisons. At one point in time, both won AA, make the jump, and both have been pretty successful.
They were lucky in the standpoint that, where they're at, they've got resources to draw upon, and they came up after Marshall. So they had the advantage of, okay, here's the Marshall plan. Here's what Marshall's doing. Okay, we see that. It's a great plan. We're going to do that. Okay, we can do something here that maybe they can't. And everybody's got their own plan and direction. But they were fortunate in the resources and what they have and their success. And I really believe if a couple of things went a different direction, Marshall would be right there as well.
Well, they might be. Remember, they beat Oklahoma that one year in one of the major bowls on that little razzle-dazzle play. And to this day, they still talk about it. And if Marshall ever could pull one of those off with some kind of play, who knows? Who knows? I mean, signing to play Notre Dame could be – you always think, what could happen after what has gone in over 50 years? Now you're going to play Notre Dame. And right now, anything is possible.
Oh,
anything.
It's just a great signature game.
It's nice to think that if all the people Notre Dame could have played, forget Marshall and Rudy comparison, which we heard about at the same time, they go, you know what? Conference USA, they've been a very good team. They know their story. Why wouldn't we want them here? Why wouldn't we want them here? People in South Bend might be going, huh? But at the same time, I think when they step back, they'll go, okay, we're waiting for the Herd to come here in 2022. We'll be here cheering on our Irish, and you come on cheer Notre Dame and let it go.
They're playing in 2019 New Mexico. They're playing at Louisville. They're playing Virginia there.
Yeah.
They've got Navy and Boston College. Obviously, they're going to play there as well. I mean, they're playing Georgia in 2019.
Yeah.
2020, they're playing Navy in Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
That'll be huge.
Right.
They've got Arkansas up there. They've got Western Michigan coming up. Stanford's always going to be a game they play there. 2021, they're going to be playing Toledo and Purdue. 2022, Ohio State, they're on the road there. They're playing Marshall, Stanford. Yeah, I mean, And they can play anybody. And, they put Marshall on the schedule.
Yep.
They've got a nice balance to their schedule.
Yes.
And it's going to be, I think, a great treat for Herd fans. I mean, they probably know, hey, we're going to get an excited fan base come up here.
Exactly.
And we're going to sell some road tickets. And not that they have any problem selling tickets.
This one they won't.
They won't. And it'll be interesting for television as well.
Exactly.
They probably know, hey, this will be interesting. People will tune in for this.
Yep.
We got a few years to go, though, but we can be excited.
Exactly.
I want to thank Mike Hamrick for joining us on the program today. Always appreciate him. He's been doing some fantastic work over the years, and I think everything's coming together this year for him. For Dave Walsh, I'm Paul Swann. Thanks for tuning in to today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.